Name of Allah Almighty, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Welcome all to the virtual summer general body meeting. This is the first ever virtual general body meeting separate from the summer convention. There is no provision of virtual general body meeting or quorum requirement for virtual general body meeting in our bylaws. The Zoom account allows maximum 500 attendees, therefore cannot provide a forum for entire general body of APPNA. There is mutual agreement in the executive committee and cable committee that this general body meeting is going to be informational general body meeting only. Before we start the meeting, I would request a moment of silence prayers in honor of late Dr. Rubina Nayat, a vibrant lifetime member of APPNA and member board of trustees who recently passed away, and for all the APPNA members and their beloved family members who passed away due to COVID-19.
Let's pray Surah Fatiha.
Ameen. Thank you very much. Some housekeeping announcements. Madam President is going to chair the meeting and will be host of the Zoom meeting as well. All other members of the executive committee will be co-host. Only host and co-host will remain unmuted. All members will stay muted. If any member wants to be recognized, use hand raise option. Chair will recognize you if and when appropriate. In the chat section, there is a option for all panelists and all attendees. If you select that, you will be able to join in the chat as a one group. Please address to chair and keep your remarks, questions to less than a minute. You will only be allowed to talk second time on the same issue at the end of the line if time permits. To the presenters, committee chairs, please stay within your allotted time. When your time is up, you will hear a ping sound. This meeting will be conducted by Robert Rules. Dr. Zia Muiz, Chair Cable, is going to be our parliamentarian. Minutes of the general body meetings from 2018 and 2019 were sent to all of you a couple of weeks ago. Since this is an informational meeting, I would like to ask our parliamentarians' opinion about passing the meeting minutes from 2018 and 19. Dr. Zia Muiz?
Yes, I think the minutes can be passed as long as there are no action items included that to be taken. So if it's just some minutes, that can be passed by the general body.
Thank you. So 2018 minutes could not be presented in 2019 general body meeting. So if there are any comments, edits required in 2018 minutes, please suggest now.
Please raise your hands if you have any input in 2018 minutes.
If none, I would like to move a motion to accept the general body meeting minutes 2018.
Second.
I think you'll need somebody else to move that motion since you're presenting the minutes.
Okay.
Arshad, you can present that.
I'll move the motion to accept the minutes of the general body meeting 2018.
Khurram Guman seconded it, the motion.
Okay. Any objections? If none, the minutes of 2018 general body minutes are approved. Are there any comments, edits required in 2019 minutes? Please suggest now. If none, Arshad, can you present a motion?
I'll move the motion to pass the general body meeting minutes for 2019.
Any objections?
Khurram is seconding it.
Khurram Guman seconded the motion. Any opposed?
I see a hand raised, Dr. Nasir Gondal.
Dr. Gondal, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's already pass the time, but if the minutes were posted a few weeks back and today's meeting, like in a physical meeting, we used to have the the minutes available during the meeting also. So I would have wished that we had them available right now, that anybody wanted to have a look at it, but it's already passed. So I just want to register a comment that they should have been made available now during the meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Gondal.
Thank you.
Let's take a vote. Any other comments or nays? Dr. Mubashir Rana, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So I had the same comment. I personally, I'm not sure whether I've seen these minutes. I may have missed them, but I'm not sure if were they posted at any time. Were they sent to the general membership?
Yes.
Because how can we call? They were? Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
So if there are no objections, the minutes of 2018 general body minute 2019 approved. I would like to hand over the meeting to Chair, Madam President. It's all yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Durrani. Welcome everyone to the general body meeting of APPNA. As Dr. Durrani mentioned, we are in uncharted grounds. Though based on the council meeting yesterday, the level of interaction and dialogue that we are seeing over a Zoom meeting is much better than an in-person meeting. I think we got a lot accomplished last meeting during the council meeting, but few things which bring a lot of heartache to me is that the committee reports never get the due attention that they need to during these annual APPNA meetings. So my hope today is that we will all discuss the Constitution and Bylaws Task Force and Amendment work in great depth and roughly devote an hour to those discussions and use the second hour to cover all the committee reports. I would request all my executive committee meeting to yield their time besides welcoming the worthy members so that we can spend enough time deliberating on the constitutional review and amendment proposals. Again, thank you very much from the executive committee and Board of Trustees. Let's start with the meeting. I will now request Dr. Rizwan Khalid, President-elect APPNA, to say a few words.
Thank you, Madam President. Assalamu alaikum, all the attendees, Board of Trustees, committee chairs, EC members, council members. I agree with Madam President that the committee work was something that we unfortunately could not discuss yesterday. And the EC unanimously agreed that we will actually yield our time to the committee reports and just do a welcome. So again, thank you very much. Warm welcome for joining us on a July 4th weekend. And I yield my time to the committee chairs. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rizwan Khalid. I will now welcome Dr. Haroon Durrani as Secretary APPNA to give his report.
Mute.
You're mute, Haroon.
And you have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to thank you very much, Madam President. Welcome all members. I am also going to yield my time to the committee report, specifically the cable report. We gave a detailed report, secretary report yesterday. I'm just presenting only this slide, which is self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through it, so I'm going to yield my time to the committee report. Thank you very much.
I'm very grateful to you, Dr. Durrani. I would like to request Dr. Arshad Rehan for his brief remarks.
जी बहुत शुक्रिया हर एक बहुत शुक्रिया आपके ज्वाइन करने का अजीब तरह के हालात हैं आज हमें चाहिए थे कि वॉशिंगटन डीसी में सब मिले होते फैज साहब कह गए थे कि न गुल खिले हैं न उनसे मिले न मैं पी है अजीब रंग में अब के बहार गुजरी है तो कुछ बहार गुजर गई कुछ अब समर गुजर रहा है कुछ आइंदा आने वाले दिन भी ऐसे ही लग रहे हैं तो बस सारे दोस्त महफूज रहें जिनके प्यारे इस वबा की वजह से या किसी और वजह से हमसे चले गए हैं अल्लाह उनको बख्शे और अपना ख्याल रखिएगा मैं भी अपना टाइम कमेटी रिपोर्ट्स को यील्ड करता हूं शुक्रिया
Thank you so much, Dr. Rehan. Now I will request Dr. Naseem Shakhani, past President APPNA, for his opening remarks.
Assalamualaikum, everybody. I just wanted to thank and congratulate Dr. Smani, Shahid Rafiq and Bhatti for the great merit meeting this morning. And I hope that, people are given ample amount of time and a variety of people will be given time today to voice their opinion. And that's all I would say. We'll go ahead, according to what we decided. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naseem Shakhani. Now I would like to request Dr. Asif Rahman to give the Board of Trustees opening remarks. Dr. Asif Rahman, I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
I am unmuted.
Okay, good. Please
Can
go
you
ahead.
see me now?
Yes.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Happy 4th of July to everyone. I want to start by remembering Dr. Rubina Naid. She was a board member. First female board member was elected and she served very well. Her untimely death.
I think we lost him. Dr. Asif Rahman, we cannot hear you.
we lost his voice only he's there I have a feeling
We pray to God that God give us strength to Dr. Sajid Chaudhary and rest of the family to go through this tough time. I also wish everyone very healthy and safe coronavirus year. I hope everyone is safe and practicing the strict guidelines to save yourself and your loved ones. My report will be very limited that the role of the Board of Trustees is to supervise, oversee, and audit and some other limited role which is mentioned in Constitution and bylaw. Our audit for this year is in the process due to coronavirus. Few weeks was extended. I was told that everything is in order and hopefully it will be completed in few weeks. Another responsibility given to Board of Trustees this year was forensic audit of 2018. That is also in the process. I think last few documents were given. It is little bit late again because of coronavirus. Dr. Rubina and I used to collaborate with the firm, and now we have designated Dr. Riaz Chaudhary for that, and he will follow up with them, and hopefully that will be completed. Earlier this year, we have kept the same ethics and grievance committee, which was for last year, because they knew all the issues, and I think only one member recused because of election, and that member was replaced, and that ethics and grievance committee is functioning very well. We have released $66,000 from the profit of investment to help out financially earlier this year. This is in addition to what our organization got from payroll relief, which was about $37,000 and $150,000. I think untimely death of Rubina Naid, but her term was supposed to end at the end of this year. So board decided because it's last 6 months, it is better that we just keep this seat as it is. And before the end of the year, we will request nomination from the council to fill that spot, which will start January 1st for following 5 years. I was very pleased and board was very happy after council meeting yesterday. And I want to acknowledge executive committee of this year that as promised, they have tried to wrap up all the litigations that will relieve lot of financial burden, because in 2019, close to 350,000 bills were paid. And this year, again, because of lack of revenue, we were in a debt of close to 350. I think Treasurer have given a detailed description yesterday, and some funds he asked, which was approved by the council, to be relieved from the profit, which will help them to have day-to-day running of the organization. I will end here, but I think it is great that we are going to hear committee reports. But traditionally, and according to our constitution, summer general body meeting, supposedly financial reports should be presented in detail, so membership know what is going on financially, as well as president gives its detailed annual report. These are two mandatory things in usually general body meeting, but because of coronavirus and a lot of things are changing, we have no objection. We will support what executive committee have decided regarding moving this meeting on. Again, I want to have everyone a safe rest of the year and happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Asif Rahman, Chair, Board of Trustees. Actually, the financial report as presented by Dr. Arshad Rehan is going to be posted on the website so that the membership can look at it in great detail. And certainly my presentation from yesterday is available to the membership. All minutes will be available to the membership. Before we proceed, I would like to ask Dr. Zia Ahmed to review the Roberts rules for the participants. Dr. Zia Muiz Ahmed.
I think, thank you very much. In the capacity of the chair of Cable Committee, I also have this responsibility. And basically, I had gone over some of these yesterday as well, and I will. The main thing about the Roberts rule is that whatever we decide or do in this meeting should be done with a process that is correct. It's not that what decisions are made, it is how we make those decisions. And the meeting is conducted by the chair. Anyone who addresses or has to speak, addresses the chair, gets a permission, and the chair decides and gives permission, acknowledges their presence, and then they are allowed to speak. That keeps a decorum in the meeting, and people are able to present that. In terms of the motions that are presented, if a motion is presented, it is seconded, although probably since today it is not informational meeting only, we don't have a quorum. That is not an issue because we will not be entertaining any motions because there won't be any action items. Those are the basic rules. And I think something which is self-explanatory and does not need to be said, however, it is good to be reminded, is that mutual respect and civility is an absolute requirement for any meeting of the professionals. But thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zia. Dr. Muhammad Suleiman had raised his hands. Dr. Suleiman, you are unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had clicked on to put my hand down. I just wanted the Roberts rule to be read by Zia, but he already did it now. So that was my question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suleiman. Dr. Jamil Mohsen has raised his hand. Dr. Mohsen. Dr. Mohsen, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It was just unintentional. Sorry about that.
Okay, all right. Well, good to see you and hear you. So to keep us on our mission, I'm going to invite Dr. Zia Muiz to present the Constitution and Bylaws review and recommendations to the general body. I think this is the most important work that is happening. Not minimizing all that we are doing for COVID-19 and what we are doing for improving healthcare in Pakistan by APPNA merit, but this is the structure that our organization relies on. So, Dr. Zia Muiz Ahmed, if you want to start your
Nahid Mubashir has his hand raised.
Dr. Rana, please go ahead. You are unmuted.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. So I had a couple of questions about the BOT report. Number one is, I'm not clear if maybe Dr. Asir Rahman can tell us, so how many terms will be expiring at the end of this year for the BOT? So that's one question. Secondly, the audit. So the audit is being conducted for which years? Because I understand the council had approved it for 5 years. And then what is the cost of the forensic audit? So I'll just wanted to ask those questions, please. Thank you.
Can I answer him?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. Dr. Rana, we are working under Constitution of 2014. Dr. Rubina Anayat is the only term which will end this year. Next year, my term will end, and subsequent year, I think Riaz Chaudhry. That is the answer of your question first. Second one was that, yes, audit was, first is annual independent audit of last year. That is underdone, and I think it is going to be complete in next few weeks. It was delayed because of coronavirus. Extension is already applied by the office. Forensic audit, yes, it was authorized for last 5 years, starting from 2018. Dr. Rubina Anayat and Dr. Riaz Chaudhry has interviewed 3 firms, and ultimately they retained 1 firm. 7,500 were given to them. Only that was the invoice which we gave them. They are going to work on 2018. After that work is reviewed, presented, and see how much more. I don't think we have to be giving more money, but I think kept initially that it will be close to 15,000. If that work is satisfied of 2018, then subsequent every previous year will be given to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rahman and Dr. Mubashir, for your question. I would now like to proceed to the cable review and proposed amendments. Dr. Zia Muiz, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Zia Muiz Ahmed, and I'm the chair of Cable Committee this year. I've been involved with APPNA since 1993. There are a lot of people who are senior and have had a longer involvement, and I've enjoyed it. But I noticed that in the last few years, there have been contentious issues that have gone on, and all have surrounded cable. And last year was a different level, and there was a lot of despondency and dejection in the membership because of the fact that we could not come together. So this year, with starting of the officers this year in the executive committee, they also recognized the importance of that and really came together and tried to put a committee together which could be representative and address all the issues in a comprehensive manner. And I'm happy to report that the Board of Trustees also gave us a full vote of confidence to review it and present it so that we're not looking at one place or the other in a patchwork manner, but to have review in its entirety in a global fashion. So I appreciate the vote of confidence from Board of Trustees and the Executive Committee in the work of the present Cable Committee. I think if I can have my sharing of the screen able, because I still see that I disabled, I can't do that, because if somebody can enable so I can share my slides, please.
You should be able to share the screen now.
Can you see the slides now?
Yes,
Okay.
but you may want to put it, yeah, that's better, perfect.
So I think starting with the cable committee, this is the composition of the cable committee. There are 9 members, and the way this committee was formed was in a spirit of collaboration, recognizing the problems that you had faced. The president, Dr. Nahid Usmani, President-elect Dr. Dr. Rizwan Khalid, and past President Dr. Naseem Shekhani got together and formed a committee which was representative of all schools of thought and all opinions. And each one of them appointed 3 members to this 9-member committee. And this was done in a real spirit of collaboration and the recognition that this was something which is important and needs to have the support of all the membership in being able to get something done which would have acceptance by the entire membership, in which I was given the responsibility of chairing the committee. And the objectives that were given to this committee were that we evaluate all aspects of the current cable, including structure, function, and governance. So we were not to look at one problem or the other, but to take a global view of the entire cable structure and look at it and make a recommendation. And recommend changes in cable to the leadership and membership of APPNA to address the problems identified. And then produce a consensus document. And to produce a consensus document, a stipulation was put in that at least 7 out of 9 members should be agreeing on the recommendation. This was a very important thing that everyone agreed upon, so that 1 or 2 or school of thoughts could not have something approved. They had to have buy-in from everyone, all 3. I don't want to use the word groups, but all 3 schools of thought that have come together by different presidents at different times. All of those could come together, and you could just have 2 out of the 3. So that was the important part, and everyone agreed to that. And then to bring cable in compliance, so there are no state laws for nonprofit organization. And the last thing was also to engage an attorney familiar with cable of nonprofit organizations early on in the process. So how we have gone about doing it so far, I'll just give you a brief thing before I move on to what you've done. So we finalized the committee end of February. And since then, Cable Committee has had 9 meetings. And we would have had 10, but 1 meeting was actually canceled because of the unfortunate news that we got of Dr. Inayat passing away. We were supposed to meet that day, and we canceled that meeting and met later on. So we've had 9 meetings so far since the end of February, and I've worked at a feverish pace, and have been there. We have spent hours together in discussing different things. And we identified governance structure for the organization as a primary area to focus on. There are other things that need to be done, but the committee felt that if you're able to take a good look and make changes to the governance structure so the organization is more in line with what is going on now, rather than when we started 40, 50 years ago, and have a structure which represents the large membership that we now have. In that, significant progress has been made in developing a consensus working document for presentation to the council and general body. Unfortunately, we were not able to present it to the council, and are going to present it to the general body today. And this is a working document. And I want to emphasize that the document that you're presenting today is for discussion by leadership and membership. And it's extremely important, and I strongly recommend that you all attend and participate in that process. All of you should engage in the process even after the general body meeting today. This is actually a typo there. And give your input to any member of the Cable Committee. So there are some members who may be able to give their input today, but I think with the restriction of time, everyone may not be able to speak or give their input. As Dr. Usmani mentioned, that if you put your thoughts or your questions in the chat group, they will all be downloaded and passed on to the committee, and we can review them. In addition to that, Dr. Durrani has created a link, APPNA forum, on the APPNA website. And if you put any comments in there, they'll come to us as well and we can review them. So that is another way of engaging with the cable committee. And one of the suggestions that are there, and hopefully we can do it in the next couple of weeks, is that a link will be sent out to the entire membership by Dr. Durrani, which will create an APPNA cable thing on WhatsApp. And anything that you want posted on that, you can send it to the administrator and they can put it on that for the entire membership to see, and we can discuss that there as well. So this is mainly to engage the membership because we want to hear from you. We want to get your feedback. And this is what we have come up with, but we obviously will finalize only we've heard from you and the collective wisdom of the membership is something that we look forward to and to be able to incorporate into our final document. And received input will be reviewed by the cable committee and any necessary adjustments will be made. Now, the governance structure as we identified, this is the structure that we talk about. And I'll briefly go over that so that then there will be a time for discussion. So board of directors is going to be what is the present executive committee and with some changes to it. Council remains the legislative body and there'll be a different way of composition of the council. Then there's House of Delegates, which I'll go over there later, and the regents. Now these two bodies, we are still under the process of discussion and have not finalized it, as you will see in the later slides. Board of Directors. Board of Directors is the executive body of the organization. It'll comprise of 9 members who are consisting mainly of the president, president-elect, and past president, and 6 members at large. So we'll be electing a president-elect every year who will become a member of the board of directors, and then he or she will be member of board of directors for that coming year as president-elect, then as president, and then as past president for a 3-year term. 6 members at large will be elected every year, but 3 will be elected. So president-elect will be elected annually by the entire membership, and then 6 members at large will be elected to a 2-year term with staggered terms, with 3 members elected each year. And out of all these 6 members that are elected, only 1 member from 1 alumni can be elected. So if King Edward, but this does not apply to the officers, president, president-elect, or past president. That is, out of the 6 members, if there's 1 person, say, elected from K or Dow or Khaja's Medical College, then we cannot have another member till that person has completed their term. How will they be elected? So the candidates, any number of candidates can contest for a member of board of directors. The candidates who receive the 3 highest vote counts will be declared elected for a term of 2 years. And next year we'll elect another 3. That's how we'll have 6. The board of directors will be electing a secretary/treasurer from among its members at large for a 1-year term. And secretary treasurer will play the role of secretary of organization as well as treasurer, overseeing the finances and accounts. So we, in this working document, we're recommending that the only person who's elected in terms of the officers every year is the president-elect. Second body that we have talked about, and there's an important body is going to be the council, which is going to be the legislative body of the organization. It'll be composed of the president and 16 members. And these 16 members will be elected from 8 different regions, 2 members from each region with a 2-year staggered term. with one member from each region elected annually. Now, the thought behind this was to make it as representative as possible and have all, even the areas that are not that densely populated with the membership, even they can have representation and elect the members of the council who will play a legislative role and can bring the opinion and advice from their membership to the meeting and help in directing the agenda of the organization. President will be a full member of the council and will preside over all meetings. President-elect will be a non-voting member of the council, and he or she will preside over council meetings in the absence of the president and will exercise all power of the president as a full member of the council when the president is not there. As I mentioned, it will be the legislative body of the association. The two important functions which we thought needs to be given to the council in addition to others were the appointment of ethics and grievance committee and the election and nomination committee. These committees will be appointed by the council, and the members of the said committees will be appointed based on predefined membership criteria. So there'll be criteria that to be a member of these committees, the potential members should have the following qualifications. Regents. So this matter has been partly discussed and the process continuing, so no matter regarding regents has been finalized by the Cable Committee. The regents will replace the current Board of Trustees. And we will call them regents because only the Board of Directors will have board in its name. No other body will include the word board in their name. And this is to avoid the confusion which is there because as some of you may know, that last year with the Illinois state law regarding non-profit, this became a contentious issue. So we'll just clarify this at the very outset. Regents will be the owners of the organization and we will be responsible for disposing the assets and taking care of liabilities in the unforeseen event of dissolution of the organization. Although I may add that by Illinois law, Board of Directors are the owners of the association. So that is something which is still a little nebulous and has not been decided. But I wanted to present this for the discussion and for input from the membership as well. House of Delegates. So this matter of House of Delegates has also been partly discussed and the process is continuing, and no matter regarding House of Delegates has been finalized by the Cable Committee. The current council comprising of alumni and chapter presidents will be called House of Delegates. And House of Delegates will have at least one meeting annually and address matters pertaining to chapters and alumni associations. This will keep the alumni association chapters involved in affairs by sharing the activities, projects, and challenges of the component society. Next is moving a little different. This was the governance structure, but this is a committee that we have thought needs to be a part of how we run the organization, because there have been a lot of discussion about how the finances are, the transparency or opacity of it, and justified or not justified, there's a sense in the membership that they are not as familiar as they want to be or need to be. So this is what we've come up with. That there should be a financial oversight committee, and it'll be a new committee tasked with providing financial oversight over the accounts and finances of the organization on behalf of the membership. Financial Oversight Committee will act as internal auditors of the organization. Again, there's unfinished business and the process continuing. The matter regarding which body will be responsible for forming the Financial Oversight Committee, whether it be the council, the House of Delegates, or the regents, has not been finalized by the Cable Committee. But we are clear that it will not be the Board of Directors, because Board of Directors is the executive committee and they are the ones who make budget and present and spend the money. So this committee needs to be separate from that. So I just this was a brief presentation that I had. Let me go back to so I think there are a few things that I wanted to emphasize. Number one, this document has been the thing presented to you, the working document, is mainly a result of the discussion we've had among 9 of us. And most of the things that are there were passed unanimously or with the support of at least 7 out of 9, but in the majority of cases, 8 out of 9. And the thing which I found most heartening and most encouraging in all this process was the fact that how everyone came together and was willing to listen to other point of view and even change their point of view when it was necessary and they thought that was a better idea. Although all of us came from different backgrounds, there was diversity in the way we compose, the composition was, diversity of opinion and diversity geographically. And all of us came together with just one thing in mind, to produce a document which addresses all the problems and which is acceptable to everyone. And that is the main working thing. And I'll tell you, I have great respect and admiration for the 8 other members, the way they have worked with me and with each other. And I just hope that I've been able to be worthy of the position that they've given me, and have been able to do the same with them. And the reason I wanted to say that is for the membership to know that the 8 others that you selected, I would not say myself, but the 8, you could not have done a better job in finding out. We had officers, we had 2 officers of the executive committee, we had a member of the board of trustees. When they came into this meeting, they left their hats at the doorstep and work with us as members of this cable committee. And for that, I would like to take this opportunity in this general body meeting to thank them and express my gratitude and admiration as a chair. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Zia.
To the President.
Thank you, Dr. Zia Muiz Ahmed. There are a number of questions in the chat, as well as I see 4 hands raised. So I'll take it chronologically. Dr. Abdul Rahman, Chair of Ethics and Grievance Committee, he suggested that while we are reviewing our cable, we should also create templates for chapters and then ask the chapters to review their bylaws as per APPNA template so we can have coherent bylaws. That's the first suggestion. You can answer as you wish.
Sure. So thank you, Dr. Rahman. It's always good to get your input. Once this document is completed, there will be clearly an expectation, and I think more than expectation, that will be demanded that all chapters have constitution and bylaws that are in line with this document. That requirement is there as well, and I think we will need to be a little more forceful in its enforcement. And yes, you're right, I think we can get the chapters to give their input, but rather than giving 48 different chapters or however many there are at different forums to do that, we are creating one in which everyone can give their input regardless of where they are, because some of the chapters and some of the alumni associations are small and are not as active and interactive among the membership. So the best thing for them is to go ahead and give their opinion suggestions directly to it, and we'll make it as easy as possible, and they can contact any of the cable members as well.
Thank you, Dr. Zia Muiz. Dr. Namira Jamshed expressed her concern that president should not be in both bodies. Chair of HOD should be from the council. And and council needs to be independent of board of directors with no bias or conflict of interest.
So you want me to answer to that?
Yes, yes, please.
So we had a really long discussion on this topic, and I think this is something that all of us took very seriously, and the point that she brings up has validity to it. And that is the reason we limited only the president out of board of directors to come and preside over the meetings, and let the other 16 members are going to be there, which will make decisions. So none of the, but we can't really have a completely, we felt, the 9 of us, and we'll be happy to revisit that in view of your suggestion, and if others feel that way as well, that we felt that there's got to be some link, and president-elect should be the link between the two. And if you notice, the president-elect also will not have voting powers in the council. They will just be there as a substitute for the president if they're not there, and to attend the meetings.
Thank you, Dr. Zia Ahmed. Dr. Shekhani has concern. His question was that what about people getting elected again and again as councillor, as we see many presidents of chapters are there on and off for years in and out, and there has to be a term for the councillors as well, as they may keep on coming back.
So, very good point. And as the youngsters might say, my bad, meaning my mistake. Actually, we did discuss that, and we did have it that it will not be more than 2 terms for any council member. But unfortunately, although we discussed that, we did not have a final recommendation within the committee. That's the reason it's not included. But sure, Dr. Khani, I hear you, and I think most of the members did have this concern, and we'll include that in the final document. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Sajud also mentioned that there should be a limit of number of terms of elected members. Dr. Nadeem Kazi wanted a clarification that board of directors are the elected officers, not BOT, and we should avoid elections for board of trustees as they function as ombudsmen of the organization. Simple option is one name should be given from the council.
So if you noticed, first of all, there's only one board, and that's board of directors. And regarding the regents, there's still an ongoing discussion about the composition, the role, the function, the utility, as well as how the members will be elected. And that is something that is an ongoing discussion. And that's the reason I wrote in the first bullet point was that has not been decided, and this is a continuing process. And we'll be happy to get all the input, and we want to get all the input from the membership regarding how we should proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zia Moise. Then Dr. Raza wrote that this is taking away from individual chapters. Instead of making individual chapters stronger and having a stake in central affairs, they're diluting it by taking their vote away from the council.
So, this is something that we discussed and talked about, that yes, the role of the chapter is going to change. But if you notice, we are really empowering the council. The only thing that we're changing is how the council is formed. Presently, council has, if I'm not mistaken, 50+ members. And to run a body which is effective, efficient, and we have traditionally had problem with the quorum and sometimes decisions being made and all. So to make it, we thought it would be a smaller body, but at the same time, it's still a representative body. So if we have 8 regions, the regions are comprising of chapter. So if you have New York, there's one region because the membership, it'll be based on membership, not geography. So New York will probably be one region because there were so many members. On the other hand, Kansas, Arkansas, or North and South Dakota may all be combined together in one region. And I think that's a fair way of electing your legislator based on the number of people that vote for you and get you in there.
Thank you. Dr. Rao Kamran Ali is concerned that looking at this review, there are going to be more elections in APPNA.
So if you look at it, yes, the number of people, it'll be obviously one election, but the number of people that we elected will be more, in the sense that you'll elect president-elect and you will elect 3 board of director members, because there'll be 3 each year that are elected. 4 of these, and then the council will be elected. That will be regional elections based on the region only. So that is not going to be an entire membership election. So when you're having it, the entire membership will be divided into 8, and only 1/8 of the membership will be voting for that person. So I think it will really not be any different, because right now you're electing the president-elect, secretary, and treasurer, 3. And here you're just electing 4 of them and a regional councillor.
Dr. Nagma Malik inquired, why isn't Cable Task Force presenting this? I can take that question. Dr. Nagma, Dr. Arif Tur and Dr. Zia Muiz Ahmed have been in close communication. Unfortunately, Dr. Arif Tur got very sick with Legionella pneumonia in April and was hospitalized and is extremely weak. So he is not here physically. But his input is part of what Dr. Zia Ahmed is presenting. Dr. Zia, do you have any additional comments?
No, I don't. I think you said it well, and I have been communicating with Dr. Tur, and I think Dr. Tur has given suggestions and all, which are immensely helpful. And I think we will, if there's anything that comes our way from them, they are senior members, they have experience and cumulative wisdom, which is there, that would be helpful to us, and we will definitely take that into advisement and consider that in our cable committee.
Dr. Nagma Malik is also concerned that the regional distribution is going to bring more drama, just like the recent past.
So, I hope not. We don't think it will. We have really thought a lot about that. I think some of the things is going to be how we deal with it. I think to make a governance structure, we've got to make it responsive, we've got to make it efficient, and being able to do things. Now, one of the things that we thought that in council, we've got to have a council which is not as big. I mean, the people at the council do a great job, they come in, but their responsibilities. From my own chapter, there's some of the council, some of the chapter presidents are very active in Central APPNA. Some of them are very active locally, but they are really not that active or interested in the Central APPNA. And that creates a dichotomy, and sometimes you've got to have these proxies and all, and that defeats the purpose of representation. So we thought, we will need help from each one of you to make sure there's no drama and the politics is minimized and all of us can work together. I think this is how we have worked in the cable committee, and this is how I think we would want and at least expect the other membership to do that as well. But I think we have a great potential in this organization, and as I said, we want to move forward and have a document which responds not to just today and tomorrow's problem or yesterday's problem, but for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So we don't get into this jam again.
So Dr. Zia Ahmed, now I will invite people who have raised hands and asked questions. Dr. Arshad Rehan is current treasurer APPNA, and he has question on the amendments.
Shukriya, Nahid. Thank you, Zia, for a very, I know your committee is working very hard. मेरे कुछ concerns हैं और कुछ queries हैं. सबसे पहला जो है, जो अभी ये question भी आया कि आप regions को vote कर रहे हैं. मसला पैदा हुआ था Board of Trustee के elections की वजह से. ये सारा लड़ाई और या confusion जो थी या जो mayhem जो था, वो सारा उसकी वजह से. आप अगर रीजन्स को वो करेंगे, वो मीर कह गए थे कि मीर क्या सादा हैं, बीमार हुए जिसके सबब. डिस्पाइट ऑल बेस्ट इंटेंशंस, मेरा कंसर्न ये है, और मैं वो होंगे, दिस इज जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ डिस्कशन, उसी तरफ दोबारा जाएंगे. एक और जो मेरा बहुत बड़ा कंसर्न है वो एलमनाई का है और उसके साथ चैप्टर्स का भी है. मेरे ख्याल में आप उनके एक क्लब बना रहे हैं कि आप साल में एक दफा मिला करो और आपस में प्लेजेंट्रीज एक्सचेंज किया करो, लेकिन यू मेकिंग देम इफेक्टिवली टूथलेस. अपना की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की जो हिस्ट्री है वो है कि द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वाज मेड बाय एलमनाई. मेरा ख्याल है 4 या 5 एलमनाई इकट्ठी हुई, उन्होंने अपना बनाई, फिर उसमें और भी आते गए. तो अगर हम एलमनाई को वो करेंगे, एम्पावर करेंगे या उनसे वो ले लेंगे उनकी रिप्रेजेंटेशन काउंसिल में और चैप्टर्स की, तो माय कंसर्न इज कि ये उसको डैमेज करेगा.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर रेहान. डॉक्टर जिया
जी. सो अरशद साहब, आपकी जो बात है उस पे हम लोगों ने खासा गौर किया, खासी तवज्जो की. और सबसे जो बड़ी बात है जो कि इसमें मेरे ख्याल में थोड़ी सी मिसइंटरप्रिटेशन है, एंड यू नॉट द ओनली वन, ये इसमें पहले भी हुआ था कि दिस इज अ पोटेंशियल ऑफ दैट. इसके हम अलुमनाई को या चैप्टर्स को हम डिसएम्पावर कर रहे हैं. अगर आप इसको यू नो फर्स्ट उसमें फ्लैश में यही लगता है, लेकिन अगर आप सोचें, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट कि अलुमनाई आर द वंस जिन्होंने कि अपना को बनाया. I got involved in अपना because of डुगाना, और जो शुरू हुई थी अपना, वो शुरू हुई थी किंग एडवर्ड की, उनसे उनकी मीटिंग हुई थी, and then they formed अपना. So the importance of alumni is absolutely not lost on any of us. जब मैं भी डुगाना में था, मैं अपना बता दूं, उस तजर्बे से मैं थोड़ा आपको, और लोगों का और भी लोग थे उनका भी ये ख्याल था कि when I was in डुगाना, my all focus was on the alumni association. जब अपना में आगे वहां से फायर हुआ, फिर मैंने अपना के अंदर इन्वॉल्वमेंट शुरू हुआ. सो जस्ट बिकॉज हम लोग अपना alumni का रोल एक डिफरेंट कर रहे हैं, डज नॉट मीन कि वी आर अंडरमाइनिंग द रोल. हम लोगों ने रखा है इन द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स कि एट एनी वन टाइम एक alumni से एक पर्सन कैन बी इलेक्टेड, इसलिए ताकि आपको representation हो wide, all alumni. So you will have at least at one time in the board of directors at least 6 different alumni, because आप हर से चैप्टर का एक से ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकता other than the officers. उसके अलावा हम लोगों ने उनको, ये आपकी बात सही है कि हाउस ऑफ डेलीगेट्स एक ही दफ़ा मिलेगा, because there were questions and concerns which are only with chapters. That is actually mostly with the chapter. Alumni को हम लोग encourage करते हैं as center अपना. हम लोग क्या मतलब, as a member I can say, for them to have the retreats, for them to have any alumni की अलग evening होती है. There's a separate night in the अपना convention whenever summer convention जो होता है. So that is not being undermined. The only thing which is being done is different. And plus, जैसे आप हैं, so you're an officer, but at the same time, you're also a member of the Khyber alumni. Nahid बैठी हुई है of King Edward, Rizwan अपने Khan से, you know, and so on and so forth. So alumni, and even in the new structure, the importance of alumni is not undermined. Actually, it is enhanced. अगर आप देखें उसको.
Can I ask just one more question?
No, please, Arshad, let me take all. I have like 9 people waiting to ask questions. I'll come back to you. We have about 10 minutes because I promised everybody that we'll go through the committee reports. The general body meeting will last till 7. So I am going to conclude the cable discussions probably around 6:20, 6:25. So I'll try to take as many questions as I can and allow everybody to speak. Dr. Ihtisham Haq.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Osmani. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Dr. Zia, thank you and your team, great job. I will be quick. We need a copy of this draft sent to the whole membership. They can review, and we need your email where we can send you the suggestion. Second thing, many people talk about it, council. Please expand the council from 50 to 100, not to cut down the role. If you do not involve the people of these 2,500 members, you are restricting, as Arshad said, you are creating a club of like ones or one group who will control in next few years. Please do not leave council out of it. BOT should exist. It should not be eliminated. Changing the name will not affect it. It should be ceremonial, but generally the past presidents come in this BOT. That's a good idea. You need some people who give a good suggestions. You can change it to just recommendations. Their recommendations may not be binding. So that is important BOT role, past presidents who should be having a different opinion. Now, new idea of council member 16, you can give a new name, new idea to expand your executive committee. That's a good idea. Past presidents should stay in this executive committee because they have a lot of things they have done. They need to continue.
Dr. Ihtisham, 1 minute is up. Please, everybody, restrict yourself to 1 minute so we can go have everybody's input. Thank you so much, Dr. Ihtisham.
Dr. Ihtisham, the suggestions you've given are very good, and I think we'll make sure that the working document is presented and is available to the membership. And I think I can work with the officers of the organization to make sure this is, again, as I said, it's a working document, and anyone can take a look at that and give the suggestions, and our email will be included in that. And I think you can get my contact or anyone, any member of the cable committee's contact, and give your suggestions, and the members should do that as well. The points that you raised are actually things that we have discussed, and this is the very fact that you said about calling the House of Delegates and Board of Directors having a different name, that was discussed in our committee, and I think it's again, as you notice, there's an ongoing discussion on House of Delegates. And if it's possible, because what we are doing is creating a council which is a little different from the current council. Not a little different, quite a bit different. And we'll be open to looking at calling that the new name, and council is the present council the way it is. But the legislative role is going to the new body because of the fact that they are more representative, they'll be elected and will come in representing all the regions of the organization and the membership. The other point that you mentioned about the Board of Trustees, you're right, there's a name will include it. And there is opinion, that's the reason that's a thing that has not been decided, because there's an ongoing discussion and some diversity of opinion into whether, what should be the role and how we should do it. Some of us feel that yes, we should have that because they do bring a resource and should be helpful. Some of us felt that it probably would be redundant, but that is certainly a part of the discussion, and we'll keep you updated, and any suggestion or recommendation are very welcome. Thank you for your input.
Thank you, Dr. Zia. Dr. Naseem Shakhani has a question. Dr. Shakhani? Let's see if he...
As the time is passing, there are more and more, Pakistani second generation are coming in. So there are more graduates coming in from local colleges and from Caribbean. And I think it's a good idea that we should concentrate on regions rather than alumni, because the goal is to get all those people in. There are about 400 to 600 graduates coming out from Pakistani descent, from Caribbean, and from American colleges. So I think it's a good idea to strengthen chapters rather than alumni. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shakhani. Dr. Afnan Tariq, you raised your hands.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you for all your hard work. I mean, it's certainly a difficult task. My question is, has the EC, by entering a consent judgment and accepting the results of a petition by Dr. Bari, which we know about, which really limits the constitutional process, by accepting that in a consent judgment, have you not invalidated this entire process and making it actually functionally impossible to proceed? Because there's actually no provision by accepting that consent judgment for you to proceed forward, particularly if you haven't actually started this amendment process by following everything specifically. So by the sheer act of accepting that lawsuit, you hamstrung the process itself. Not you personally, sorry. Of course not you, you know that. But the current EC, I mean, it makes it an impossible task by accepting that consent judgment, does it not?
Thank you.
So I think, I hear you, and I don't have a legal background unlike you, but I'll tell you what my understanding of this is. According to our constitution, which is in effect now, based on 2014, since this judgment was regarding the amendment of 2018, that the constitutional bylaws changes can be authorized by one of three processes. One of them is by the Board of Trustees, that they can ask the Constitution and Bylaws Committee to initiate the process, by the Executive Committee, or by the membership. In this case, we have that, as I said at the outset of my presentation, that Dr. Asif Rahman, with the consent of Board of Trustees, sent out a letter to us and authorizing us, or rather directing us to look into that. So that is, Mark, and I think we also have the support of the Executive Committee or the current Board of Directors. And frankly, I think I'm going out on a limb, but I can tell you that the membership is the real place where there's an overwhelming support for looking at this and changing that. But I hear what you're saying, that yes, we've not had the formal vote from them, because we have gotten the other two in which we have the authorization to look at it. And unless I read it incorrectly or told otherwise by a legal opinion, I think we're in the right track. And what we're doing is discussing at this process, getting the information. Nothing has been finalized or put to a vote, either by the council or by the membership. That is something that will come later on.
Dr. Zia, we have 11 more questions. I think I'm not going to entertain any other people raising their hands. I'm going to invite 11 people to ask their questions. And if you could limit your answers so we can go through. Dr. Nadeem Kazi.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Zia, for your hard work and the harmony within your committee. I salute it. There are a few concerns I have. Number one, my question is, what is APPNA? APPNA is due to the alumni, as two other members has expressed their concerns, similar concerns. If we take out alumni, believe me, why should I go to APPNA event? Why don't I just go to my alumni, which every alumni is doing every year? We have to bring people together. Whenever we change bylaws, there is a reason for it. Why we are changing, what is the issue that we are dealing to make it better? When I heard today, you said, I hope not, when somebody asked you a question, that hope not thing should not be there, because you have to make that document clear that if this situation occurs, we will handle it. What I will suggest, keep the council as is, add few more members to the executive committee. Like any other organization, they are elected officers, 4 or 5. Then they have 3 or 4 executive committee member at large. So they work with the executive committee to execute the wishes of the organization. The wishes of the organization come from the council in our case. In other organizations, they call it House of Delegate. Same thing. Not general membership, House of Delegate. So you have to bring more people. You have to represent everyone in that council or House of Delegates.
Thank
Number
you,
one.
Dr. Kazi.
Yeah.
We should now allow Zia to answer because we are running out of time here.
I'll very quickly and briefly answer the question. I think to think
One
that
more question before I go, because the reason I gave all this lecture, the Board of Trustee issue came because there were 3 names used to go from council, and there used to be literally election because we never implement our rules. Our rules are very clear. If somebody is doing electioneering for the Board of Trustee, we should be they will be debarred from that election. But we never implement that rule, and that was the contentious issue started. So to solve that issue, increase the number of Board of Trustee and ask council to just give 1 name. That will solve that problem.
Okay, do you want me to answer now or do you want to go with other questions as well?
Up to you, if you can briefly answer.
Okay, well, quickly I'll answer. I think it's a misreading of this document to take from this that the role of alumni is being reduced. Absolutely not. The alumni will still have their function, the evening, the night, as well as I think they will have the one. The only thing is that if they want to have a vote, they will go through the election process. So a person from Dugana president will have to do the same thing that is from a smaller alumni, or King Edward or anyone will have to go through a smaller alumni that comes in and gets a person elected, and they will have a vote. And as Dr. Sharani just pointed out, we need to be cognizant of the fact that there's a large number of graduates from Caribbean and American graduates coming in, and we have to include them. We just cannot be stuck in the past structure, which has served us really well in these past years, but we need to be able to change.
Thank you, Dr. Zia Muiz. I will also like to reiterate that if you want to write directly to Dr. Zia Ahmed, please email to cablechair@appna.org. And we'll make sure this email is created and he will be getting emails directly from you with your suggestions. I would now like to invite Mahmood Alam.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, 1 minute, please.
Yes, 1 minute, yeah. I just wanted to make a correction of Dr. Rehan made the comment that छोटी सी लड़ाई थी और उससे इतनी बड़ी बात बन गई. I think the premise of this cable is, and I am sure that all the cable members will hear me out, is not to even think about 2018 amendments and 2014 amendments. Do not come up with any stopgap measures which we have done through the cable in the last 20 years, but totally review the document, which I think chairperson has said in a subtle way in the beginning. So this cable is not addressing the issues which divided the organization too much due to the 2018 amendments. We are reviewing the whole document as a whole, and everybody's comment, question, and concerns are welcome, and we will entertain in the cable meeting individually. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alam. Do you need to add?
No, I just wanted to add to that he has really brought a very good point. That when we sat down, the 9 of us, none of us came with the view that, okay, well, this happened in 2018, 2014, and this was our position in that, and let's take a look. And frankly, that is when I said I really meant it in terms of my gratitude and my admiration for this group that I've been working with. Each one came, and when you look at it and discussion takes place, you can see that people from different backgrounds agreeing and from the same background disagreeing. And that is how this has been developed. And we looked at it that we've not even touched and gone over what was in 2018 and 14. We want to looking at everything, the need of the membership and the organization going forward for the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Thank you, Dr. Zia Muiz. Dr. Taj Khan, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President, for allowing me to ask my question. Thank you, Zia, for your hard work and your committee. But two suggestions. One regarding the board of directors, 6 members, you said you're limiting to 1 alumni. Why don't we alphabetically have 6 members for alumni, no elections, because we don't like elections or we don't do good in elections. So to minimize elections, have alphabetically 6 members, or whatever the method you do, 3 first and the next 3, and each alumni will have its share on those 6 members. Other question was to council. We have a limited number of members each year. To increase, incentivize councils, why don't we have a representation as per their membership? Tell council, okay, if you have 50 members, you have a 1 vote or 2 votes, so incentivize them, so they will have more APPNA members, and we can increase 12,000 or 18,000 members. These are my 2 suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Mohammed Taimur, I think. Mohammed Taimur Khan, is that you, MK?
Muhammad Khan.
Muhammad Khan. Ji, Dr. Khan, please go ahead.
I will be quick. First of all, Dr. Zia, I think you should not answer and comment everything because this is not a final document. And this way you can give more chance to other people for their input, and please make notes, but please do not respond. My second comment is this looks like a very, very radical working paper. It's just like there's a discussion about 18th Amendment in Pakistan Constitution. If somebody comes up and say, okay, let's demolish the entire Constitution, let's redo the entire Constitution. So my recommendation is please do one thing at a time. Just pick one area and then come up with a working paper on that particular area. Let's have a consensus of the membership and then go to the second area and the third area. These suggestions are very valuable, but please keep them in the back burner, but do not present the entire redoing of the entire infrastructure at one time. It will create a big chaos.
Thank you so much. Dr. Naghma Malik, please go ahead.
Ji, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Nahid, for giving me a chance to speak. And thank you very much, Dr. Muiz, for all your hard work, your committee. I would try to be as short as possible. I have 3 points. First of all, when we started this whole cable discussion last year and we in the beginning of this year, the purpose was basically to change it, like bring in amendments, just like Dr. Muhammad Khan just said, and to go step by step, overhaul it gradually over a period of time and not change it trying to go in one go, because that already caused lots of unrest among the membership. My second point is that you talked about reducing the number of council members, while we feel that in order to represent the general membership, we should in fact have more council members. And instead of going region-wise, if we go the way we are already, chapters and alumni, because those council members, they should have a close contact with the general membership. If we go region-wise, it would be difficult for membership to know that person who that council member is, to reach out to them and discuss and bring up their issues. That was my second point.
Thank you, Dr. Naghma. 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you.
I could give a quick response to that one. I hear you, and I think we'll take it to the committee, because I think committee felt differently. They've thought that we should look at the global thing rather than doing a patchwork approach to the Constitution. But I'll be happy to take it, and if you give your suggestions, we'll again consider that in the cable committee. Regarding representation, let me give you an example. If there's a person who graduates from a medical school here in St. Louis, from say a SLU medical school, why is it that he is not entitled to be a member of an organization, alumni, that has representation in it? And whereas I, as a graduate of Dow Medical College, can have representation of alumni. So we have looked at it, and I think the number, as Dr. Shani correctly pointed out, the number of these graduates is only going to increase, because we're not getting as many graduates from Pakistan anymore, and we have to be cognizant of this and be ready to adjust to the changes.
Thank you, Dr. Zia Muiz. Dr. Tanveer Imam has a question.
Thank you, Dr. Usmani. Thank you, Zia, for doing a great job. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
So, this is a complete revamp of the Constitution. It would be, it will take a little time for the membership to absorb all that. It's kind of a shocking. My two main concerns, the chapters were designed to organize at grassroots levels. And if you are going to minimize their representation, what measures will you take to organize it at the grassroots levels in lieu of the chapters? That's number one. Number two, that the different areas of US have different population. The density of the APPNA members are different. For example, the Northeast is more dense than the Northwest. If you will be having 2 members from each region, I fear that those areas which are more densely populated will be underrepresented, and you won't find members from areas which do not have many members. So these are my two concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, Tanveer, thank you for your comments. We will base, and maybe I apologize that I was not more clear in this, the regions will be based not just geographically, but on membership. So if Northeast has 1,000 members and Northwest has 100 members, it will not be 2 regions. It will be based on the total membership divided into 8 different membership, divided by 8, and then have a geographical representation of those. So you might end up having one region in New York, and you might have 3 regions on the eastern seaboard, whereas you will have maybe just 1 or 2 on the western seaboard. So it will be based on membership as well to make sure that representation is fair and equal.
Okay, so the last of the first 11 questions was Dr. Rao Kamran Ali. I apologize to people who have raised hands. You can email Dr. Zia Ahmed at cablechair@appna.org. Dr. Kamran Rao Ali, 1 minute for your question and a minute for Zia to answer, and then we have to present the rest of the committee reports.
Okay, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Zia Moise. You have done a great job. I think the problem with APPNA is right now, which probably most of the people have already said, the elections. With new AI system, we are doing a lot of automation in everything, even in EMR. We should not, do more election. Like for beauty, if you want board of trustees, yes, why not? Then make automation. Every past president will become a BOT and one will go out. So that will be automation. You want BOD, 5 BOD, 3 out of 5 make decisions. So there is no more one-man show, which means that you can have a great election of treasurer and let them move forward. And I remember at some point, Dr. Durrani was very eager to do the same thing. So this is something that, we every year, one person will come and move forward, election will be less. There's no need to have election. Alumni and chapters are doing great job. Great job. No election, without election, they've been doing great job. They should stay like that. This is chapter thing, who they want to send to council. So leave them alone, please. So I think this is the way it will make it better. Let me finish. My 1 minute is not done, Nahid. So this is probably the better way where we can have, and most important thing is this, every person should go through everything to become president. They should serve as treasurer. Doesn't mean they lose treasurer. Next year they are coming in Zid against same secretary and vice versa. They have to serve. If they are losing treasurer, come back, win treasurer. They are, or secretary, come back, win secretary. When they will serve enough, they will know what is this all about. Thank you so much.
So if I may quickly, I think I'll start with your last point, Dr. Rao, which is very important, that they should have served. And again, I'll say that as my bad that I did not include, but one of the things that was, and actually had discussed and decided as a recommendation, and we put it in when we go into the further details, is that to be a president-elect candidate, you would have had to serve in the board of directors for 2 years. So you have to have that service before you can be president-elect, and then before you're president, you've had at least 3 years of service. And then there's also some discussion on the criteria for being a candidate of board of directors. So yes, that is important to have served in the organization. Regarding the other things, I think, we love to hear from from you and all of you, any recommendation that you give, I can assure you will be taken very seriously and will be considered. And I think there, as I've said, there are 9 of us who are open to discussion. None of us who's here has the same position as when we started. And this is actually a tribute to the members that they came in, they're willing to listen and listen to the argument, the other point of view, logic, and then change their positions. And I think that is how it will work. If you have a point, please send it to us. We'll be more than happy to look at it. And then we'll come back. And the other point that I was also taking, because somebody said about radical changes, we have not given a deadline that, we've got to get this thing passed and all by 31st. We will, since this body was created by a consensus of 3 present, most of the members will be the same for next year as well, and we'll continue the work. There'll be some new members. We'll continue the work next year as well. And the time that we're gonna to get this all finalized and passed is by 2021. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Zia, for this, for your patience, for answering all the questions with such aplomb. And we wish the Cable Committee all the best in their continued hard work. I will now share my screen with the agenda. Let's see which one. Yes, this one. So going back to the different committee reports, as promised, the first report that we will have will be Dr. Abdul Rahman, Chair, Ethics and Grievance Committee. Dr. Rahman, if you could present your report.
Thank you, Dr. Usmani. I hope everybody can hear me. So I'll be brief. I think this is a short report, primarily just for summer meeting. The current committee, as earlier discussed, consists of 7 members, myself, Dr. Sajjad Sawal. A new addition is Dr. Faz Bora, Dr. Intikhab Alam, Dr. Farraq also is a new addition. Dr. Farraq Hashmi joined this year. Dr. Farraq Malik continued from last year, so did Dr. Samina Hijab. We have received overall 7 complaints. 5 of these complaints are related to APPNA Alliance, and 2 are basically related to APPNA, but 1 is related to a chapter, one of the 2. So the complaints that came from Alliance actually started pouring in from February, and we acknowledge certainly that there has been a delay in making any decisions on these matters. But that was primarily because we thought that these do not fall within the jurisdiction of Ethics and Grievance Committee. I had reviewed the objectives of the Ethics and Grievance Committee and its responsibilities under the current bylaws prevailing, and felt that there was nothing substantial written there about the chapters or the other organization affiliated with that. So we had a meeting earlier. The meeting was called to discuss this matter. And initially we felt that because of those reasons, we will not be able to discuss these matters. But we also decided to refer back to the EC as well as to the Cable Committee for their opinion and to BOT to see if there is any way we can move forward or what is their opinion on that. And the primary purpose was not to delay, but to make sure that we are doing it within the framework of our bylaws and that ethics is sticking to the ethics of the organization and doing it properly. So I believe there was a delay, perhaps the initial request was not conveyed to the chair of Cable Committee. And subsequently, I think the Cable Committee was able to sit down and discuss that. So we have received their opinion on that. And as a result of that, I did call a meeting of the Ethics and Grievance Committee that happened earlier today. So we reviewed the whole thing, including not only the complaints from these alliance members, but also the bylaws of the alliance itself. So we certainly have some opinion on that, but this is not the place where I can share that with you. So I think in brief, the complaints coming from Alliance are 5. One is Saima Niaz complaint against APPNA Alliance BOT, and 3 EC members. Complaint of Nasia Hussain against Saima Niaz. Complaint of Bina Sheikh against Alliance BOT. Complaint by Shanila Latif against Farzina Ahmed, and complaint of Suraya Khan against Saima Niaz. So all of these have been sent to members of the Ethics and Grievance Committee. With the timelines and the details, I converted their emails into PDF format and sent it to the Ethics and Grievance Committee members so that they're aware of the timelines of how they were sent and the contents of these emails. So in our meeting today, the minutes of which have obviously not been prepared yet, but will be sent out. We decided that rather than making a decision based on some of this information that has been sent to us by email, we will review each one complaint again, and then actually have a Zoom meeting with each of these complainants and actually hear them out, and then have a further discussion within the committee to make decisions. We also reviewed Dr. Shahid Latif's complaint against APPNA Southern California chapter, and we have some recommendations regarding that, as well as Dr. Aftab Khan's complaints. As I said earlier, we have not finalized the minutes. I will refrain from going into details, but will be happy to answer any questions. I'll conclude my report.
You're muted,
Thank you very
Usmani.
much. Yes, I saw that. So the next report is Social and Disaster Welfare Committee, Dr. Aisha Zafar. Dr. Sajid Chaudhry is not here in the general body meeting, but I think his work can be ably presented by Dr. Aisha Zafar. Dr. Zafar, you have 3 minutes.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum ji. So I'm presenting this report on behalf of Sajid Chaudhry and SWDRC. As most of you know, that this has been an unfortunate pandemic, and for the last 4 months, we've actually actively been raising funds for this. To date, we've raised $1,060,000, and we have $30,000, which are in Dr. Runa and Knight's Memorial Fund. We are collaborating with several organizations, including Al Khidmat, Hands, Helping Hands, Shahid Afridi Foundation, Selani, as well as Akhuwat. I'm also very grateful. I especially want to mention some of the chapters because they've come back again to APPNA. And as you know, that we have been matching funds, which is usually 50 cents to $1 for food and dollar to dollar that we were matching for PPE. So I want to appreciate the efforts of DMV, Dr. Samia Paracha, the Oklahoma chapter, South Florida, Dr. Shazia Zafar, Minnesota chapter, Bushra Dar, PPS chapter, which has been doing an excellent job, as well as the Dallas Community Physicians and the Alberta chapter. The alumni which have worked with us include King Edward, Fatma Jannah, Alama Iqbal, Nishtar, LMC, RMC, Khyber, and SMC. And there are some names of some alumni missing. And I really would hope that in future, they would consider working with APPNA, since we are supporting in whatever means that we can. There are certain areas in Pakistan which have been suffering more because there is no alumni presence. This includes Balochistan, Swat, Gilgit, and Skardu. And when we started our fundraising and the distribution of food, the very first site that was sent food was in Quetta, and then after that, it was in Gilgit. And our focus this time was that we really wanted to work in the small towns. And again, for PPE, more recently, you must have seen the updates from Dr. Sajid Chaudhry that we have been going out to a lot of small towns in Punjab. We are reaching out to small towns in Inner Sindh, for which Liaquat Alumni and SANA, which is the Sindhi Association of North America, has been working with us. I have one issue that I would like to bring up, and that is that in all this, what we have realized, and some of the members also mentioned, we are collaborating with a lot of organizations, but I really think we need to have a presence of APPNA in Pakistan. Unfortunately, a few years ago, APPNA Pakistan account and the office there was shut down, and I think we need to reopen or revive the account there too, because we have people on ground who can work with us, and we would also be saving a lot of funds. With every organization that we are working, everyone has at least a 10 to 12% overhead. There is no one who's basically going to do it free for us. And I will give you this thing that in the recent people distribution in Punjab, we were able to distribute in the entire Punjab for $15,000. And the estimates we were getting were close to $50,000 if we would have gone with NGOs. So that is something that I would consider. I would really recommend the future SWDRC chairs or the leadership needs to consider. I'm grateful to the executive committee, to the BOT, for they were the ones really who initiated the fundraising when we started. APPNA Foundation, who helped us with this, Mr. Ashar Aziz, who recently gave us another 100,000. So we have a total of 400,000 from him. To the many, many generous donors of APPNA, even non-APPNA members, and especially the anonymous donors who do not want their names to be told, but they were really the ones who were giving us the funds with which we could match the funds for the chapters and the alumni. I have my special thanks for Nick and Laik, who do a tremendous job, and for Sajid Chaudhry and Rubina Naith, who did an excellent job with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aisha. Can I please now request Dr. Ruafza Afridi to give her report for Nomination and Election Committee? Dr. Afridi.
Assalamu alaikum. I have really not much to put forth except that the election is running or getting prepared for very smoothly. We have the election committee, election company in place, and we have been, the office has been working on getting everybody's most recent email addresses, street addresses, and their cell phone numbers so that we can communicate with them and keep reminding them to vote. Besides that, I have no complaints that anybody has lodged, thankfully, and nothing that has been happening in our committee that is to report. Thank you.
Afridi. Now I would like to request Dr. Rashid Paracha to talk about the advocacy efforts from the advocacy committee. Dr. Paracha.
Thank you. Hi. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Laik, can you put my slide there? Laik has my slides. Hello, Nahid?
Ji, Laik is online. Let me text him.
Yeah, he had the slides and he said he will put it on.
Okay, I will text him just now.
Yeah, we are putting your slide up, Dr.
Thank you.
Raja.
Thank you.
Dr. Usmani, while we are waiting for Laik to put Dr. Pracha's slides, the entire EC is very thankful to Dr. Aisha Zafar and Dr. Sajid Chaudhry. While we have time, I wanted to appreciate the efforts. They have worked day in and day out, and we are very, very appreciative of their work, the membership and the council. We salute Dr. Aisha Zafar and Dr. Sajid Chaudhary and their team. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. How long will it take? Like, shall I?
The file has an error, so I'm just trying to fix. He can start and then I can.
Okay.
Dr. Paracha, you want to start without the slides, or should I get the Dr. Shahid Rafiq to speak about? Oh, there you are.
I think we are. Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Osmani and the executive committee to give me the chance to present the work of the advocacy committee. This was a difficult year when we started. I think there were three problems that we were facing. One was the COVID, and because of the COVID back in Pakistan, all the embassies were closed. Then we had the travel ban and the flight restrictions. And then of course, on top of it, just recently, the presidential order on June 22nd, banning all the visas. Because of the COVID, all the embassies and the consulates in Pakistan were closed. They were not giving any routine visa interviews. But with our efforts and with the letter from Dr. Osmani to the ambassador in Islamabad, we were able to get our candidates to go there for emergency visas, both at Karachi and Islamabad. Next slide, please. So the good part is that we have matched 209 candidates this year, which I think is the maximum we ever had. And not a single visa has been refused this year. Most of them got their visas on the same day. Out of the 209, 51 went into the administrative process, which means that they needed more scrutiny. As of June 30th, there may be some changes in the last couple of days. We have only 4 H1 and 3 J1 pending the administrative process. There are 2 Pakistani passport holders who are applying from Dublin and Riyadh. They both have H1 visa, and there may be some delay till there is a clarification from the State Department about their arrival. Next one. So we have received the input from the State Department that they will be exempted, but no confirmation at this point is definite. You know, most of the residents, according to the latest statistics, I think but 13 have arrived, are those who are still pending in the administrative process. We have asked them multiple times to let us know how many have arrived and where they have arrived. But once they come here, the soil of United States, we can't keep track of them. So we have indirect information that most of them have joined their programs. Apart from visa getting, we have helped students who were stuck here and could not go back to Pakistan because of the interview at the embassies. We advised them to change their visa status, which is very difficult in the past, but we were able to change few of the visas while they stayed here. Many needed to go back, and through our efforts with the Pakistan ambassador, Asad Khan, we were able to arrange some emergency seats and flights for them to go back to Pakistan to get their visa done. Some needed financial help to pay their tickets. Funds were arranged through some private donors to send them back home. So apart from our some visa help, we were able to help very few, even with their financials. So the CS examination part 2, this is for the future next year, are canceled in USA, and prometric centers in Pakistan are closed. We are told that they may open in late July and August, but we are working currently with the WFME, ECFMG, and PMDC to resolve these issues. Next. So the good part is, I think we have to sum up and sometime pat ourselves back. Due to our good work and advocacy, ECFMG has written to the program direction, recognizing APPNA and its advocacy work. So that's a great, I think, achievement by APPNA and its advocacy committee over the years. We have also got an international fame that young physicians from other countries are now asking us to help them out. So at the end, I would thank each and every member of the advocacy committee who have worked very, very hard to achieve these results. I can't forget Rubina Anayat for her work in this committee over the years. I remember the first time when we had 9/11. At that time, Dr. Rana Akbar, the late Dr. Rana Akbar, maybe peace her and give her a place in Jannatul Firdaus. She wrote a letter to the Homeland Secretary along with Dr. Nasir Gondo. And this work started at that time in 2003. And over the last 17 years, we have, mashallah, achieved through the advocacy such that I think our advocacy is on auto control, but intermittently we do have problems like this year, but we are able to help them. Now, I will have to recognize 4 members of the committee, Dr. Shahzad Iqbal, for keeping constant contact with the State Department for administrative cases, Fateh Shahzad, who diligently worked and keep really contact with the visa officers in Pakistan, Dr. Kamran Rao for his valuable suggestion and his contacts in State Department. We have a new addition this year, Dr. Aftab Ahmed, who is a program director, and his input was really useful at multiple times. He at the same time has taken 5 Pakistani residents this year in his program. And of course, our president, Dr. Nahid Usmani, who kept the Pakistani bureaucracy in check and wrote to the US ambassador in Islamabad, president of ECFMG, and is working on finding solutions to the pathways for CS examination. I would say quite confidently that the APPNA is in good hands as far as advocacy is concerned. And old folks like me, when we leave, there are many, many now in this committee. And I see Rizwan Khalid and Sajid Chowdhury and all these people who worked in the advocacy committee in the past, that the work will go on for years. I was also happy to see that Dr. Zia Mueez has got the same gray hair that I have. So at least there is one more gray-haired guy in the up. Thank you so much, Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Piracha. You have always been a beacon of light and a great mentor for all of us. And one person I would like to recognize that our advocacy paid off for, we had a single resident applicant from Afghanistan who was stuck in Afghanistan with the embassy closed, and he had a job, but there was no way for him to get the visa because of the embassy closure and all the, the route between Pakistan and Afghanistan closed. Anyhow, he has managed to get a visa. So and is here in US and has joined his residency program. So our advocacy has really gone international. Now I would like to invite Dr. Shahid Rafiq to give us a quick update. Dr. Rafiq, we are running out of time. Please be to the point, less than 3 minutes if possible. Dr. Shahid Rafiq.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Dr. Naheed. I will take less than 3 minutes because we had a big symposium which was very successful today, and we had a detailed report about family practice as well as other activities. And I'm thankful to you as well as all the EC members, Dr. Zwan Khalid, Naseem Shekhani, Harun Durrani, and Arshad Rehan, who came and attended that symposium. I really appreciate your support for Merit. So next slide. Yes, so basically we had a lot of initiatives, we had a lot of programs, but as you know, COVID-19 pandemic had halted or interrupted everything that we were doing. And but Merit took it as an opportunity to do its part. And what we started on 3/31/2020, 31st of March, was a daily webinar just focused on COVID management. And so we brought all ID specialists, cardiologists, nephrologists, neurologists, in particular pulmonologists and intensivists on board to talk with the Pakistani colleagues. And every day we talked about COVID for the next, I think, 24 days until Ramadan. And at that time, Pakistan was not as much into COVID, but it really prepared the counterparts there. And then we changed it to in Ramadan, twice weekly, only on the weekend, and we are continuing on every weekend. And there were offshoots from that. We are preparing COVID guidelines with Pakistani counterparts. Pakistani guidelines are there, but we are helping review that and add some input. Supporting frontline healthcare workers in their psychosocial matters, all the psychiatrists got together and ran a series of 4 webinars. Next slide. So, but alongside that, and today's symposium was an attempt to revive what we started in March 2020 in Pakistan on 4th and 5th March. We had the first International Merit Conference in Rawalpindi Medical University in collaboration with RMU as well as Higher Education Commission. And that was a great success, as you all know. We had follow-up meetings with Prime Minister, President, Health Ministry, Higher Education Commission, and USAID, and brought all the stakeholders, government, on one table. So today's symposium was to revive that, and we are hoping that we will continue once a month meeting just for this topic. And the good thing is that now we have MOU signs with UK organizations as well as Australian organizations so that we can make an international coalition and talk with one voice with the Pakistani family practice academia and as well as the government. Next. So along with family practice, I think the most proud moment for this year for me is to listen to Pakistani government officials, leadership, the PM Healthcare Task Force Chair, Dr. Burki, who we met many times here, along with the President, Dr. Naheed, that nursing is as big an issue as anything else. So we were able to break through into this with the nursing leadership in Pakistan. We found very competent leadership in Pakistan, as well as a lot of leadership in US. I was pleasantly surprised to find a lot of Pakistani nurses, particularly from Aga Khan University, who are now serving in Emory and Boston and Austin and California. And so we got them together, and we are developing a not only a leadership for family practice, but also critical care nursing. And we had this intensivist group as well as nurse educator who are developing the course and also starting the webinar every week starting next Saturday. Next slide. So just 2 more slides. This is the 4th one. So from this COVID, like I said, the biggest thing that came out was a very energetic group of intensivists, pulmonologists and nephrologist intensivists who have not only helped us with all those Merit COVID webinars, over 37, 38 of them, but also developed a vent management program. COVID case discussion board on WhatsApp is a very active, live. Anybody have any question that is answered right there in real time.
Dr. Shahid, we have 2 more at least committees that are waiting to present, and we are getting over time.
Yeah, this is the last critical care nursing course. I already said the next slide. This is the last slide. So the new initiative that we have are the ER, nephrology, nursing, as I discussed, sleep medicine, and research committee. So all of these committees are now a fully functioning committees with a lot of members in it. So I invite all members who are listening, if they know or belong to these disciplines, please come forward and help us. And I will stop here. There's a lot of work that have been done and still 6 months, 5 months left in this year. And we hope to achieve a lot. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rafiq. We are all so proud of you and Dr. Danish Bhatti and the entire APPNA Merit Committee who works selflessly without any recognition or need for recognition. You make us proud. You make APPNA a recognized name for Pakistan and Pakistani medical institutions. I would now like to invite Dr. Mushtaba Qazi to present on medical core. And the last committee to present is going to be young physicians. I again apologize to the committees. We are unable to cover in half an hour, but inshallah, in the fall meeting, we will try to do better. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you to the EC for yielding your time so that the committees could present their reports. And I'm more than happy to take only a minute so that Dr. Rafiq could have had a full presentation, because what his committee has done is really outstanding. And so the APPNA Medical Corps, next slide. Like so many committees in this COVID environment, has shifted its mission from on-location, on-site medical missions to telemedicine support for Pakistani physicians in the trenches, whether it's primary care or specialty care. And we wanted to highlight one collaboration that's in progress that our committee is working on, and that is through an online portal called Sehat Kahani, if any of you are familiar with it. So it's an application, a mobile application, as well as a e-health clinic network. And the unique feature of it is that its primary resource of expertise are female Pakistani physicians, many of who are not practicing full times because they have responsibilities at home. And so Sehat Kahani utilizes the resource of these 1,500 physicians. 1,500 physicians to provide expertise in different fields. And during the COVID spike, where patients and their families had access to Sehat Kahani, there were 90,000 downloads of this application to provide 24-hour access to questions. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there are also e-health clinics where ancillary staff triages patients, and then an online female doctor provides treatment and recommendations. Next slide. So we wanted to develop a second opinion program, and this is a model that I think can work with many different institutions, and our focus, of course, would be nonprofit institutions where HIPAA-compliant PDF files are forwarded to AMC coordinator, who then forwards it to the appropriate APPNA physician for review within 3 days, and then that review is then returned to the portal for recommendations by the physician in Pakistan to their patient. So that, I think, is a model that we can recreate with the other institutions. So next slide. So the goal of our committee is to vet these referrals that you have and resources that you have in order to expand telemedicine consultation. And if you do have the expertise in pulmonary, critical care, internal medicine, and in fact, dermatology is a very important specialty of need in Pakistan for second opinions, then you can contact any of our committee members. So Jazakallah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Qazi, for your comprehensive presentation. I personally, as a woman physician, is very excited about having some collaboration with Sehat Kahani. Lastly, I'm going to invite Dr. Taimur Khan to present his Young Physician Committee report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Usmani. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. And I have a few slides. We'll try to keep it under 3 minutes. This is one of our main highlight of this year beginning, that we wanted to have the combined 2019-2020 update to the Guide to US Residency that was earlier published in 2006. And we updated all the resources for the residency applicants in one booklet, incorporating all the online as well as the experience from all Pakistani residents and fellows in the programs right now, along with some attending faculty members with their precious input. And it's available on the APPNA website. It's available on the YPC website. And we most likely will update it at the end of this year as well. We were lucky that by the time we launched it this year, we were able to incorporate the COVID-related updates to the residency application. And so just to highlight and summarize, that you all may be aware, that main goal for our is to help out at each and every step of the residency applicant. We collaborate very closely with advocacy committee. We in preparation of the lists, and sometimes the residents who are matched, they reach out to us and we collaborate to help out their cases with the advocacy committee. Have been working very closely with Dr. Paracha, Dr. Shehzad Iqbal, Dr. Rao, and Dr. Fateh Shehzad. And we do year-long webinars. So we did 2 in the beginning of this year. We are planning to wait from the updates from the ECFMG regarding the 5 pathways. And we have already lined up speakers for another webinar at the end of, hopefully at the end of July, so that we can have all the updates for the upcoming match process. We also have mentors who remotely monitor and help out a lot of research projects for the students who are sitting in Pakistan, and make them publish over here with the faculty members. And also at the same time, we have a lot of education material piled up at our website. The YPC has been very actively helping out and triaging the request for the APPNA accommodation to students who need it. And previously it used to be in APPNA related housing facilities. They're also somehow still present in some formats, and we try to help them accommodate with the residents and fellows in that particular city when they go out for the interviews. This year, one of the main highlight was Dr. Usmani's and EC wonderful collaboration with the ECFMG. And as Dr. Paracha highlighted, that they really appreciated all the effort done by the APPNA, and we've been really the highlight of their work and collaboration with the ECFMG to help out the straighten the J1 related wrinkles, and at the same time the clearance part from the advocacy committee. So this is our website. Please feel free to visit and give us feedback if you have any other material, and if you would like to help us update the booklet for this year. And we also have a very robust Facebook page that has more than 10,000 doctors who help out, and where the questions are being asked and they are answered right away by different people from all the different specialties. At the end, I would like to really acknowledge the Dr. Rubina Inayat, one of the very founding members of the YPC, and for her great work, Dr. Sajid Chaudhary, and all the leaders who have helped out and helped us so much. And wherever we need any help, they've been always very generous to support our all our ventures. So thank you very much, Dr. Usmani. If any questions, please feel free to send it my way.
Nahid, you should unmute yourself, please.
Sorry. I just want one last very important, one last very important committee report, which is very exciting for all the members. Young Professional Network is launching their mobile app. I would like Dr. Ghazala Siddiqui, chair of that committee, to present their report. Dr. Ghazala.
Right, and I know that time is very short. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, all right. So can you share my screen? Are they sharing it right now? They got the one. Oh, okay. So what we can, I have something very exciting for you after all that, things which you heard so far. It's very interesting and exciting. In the YPN, we felt that we can help our young professionals by creating something which they can utilize themselves, be independent and be more involved, be more productive, and take more participation. Anyways, some youth suggested the app, and then it came to me, and then I took this idea. I got a very good developer, and then we had a very, very good support from Dr. Usmani, who spent hours with us to also guide us in this app. So let me just start. You guys can share my screen? Yes?
It's shared.
Okay, it's shared. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
yes.
All righty. And can I move that? Anyways, the first picture is this app is already on iOS and Android phones. And this is APPNA YPN app. And the picture you see, there are some changes which are done now. These are old pictures. So anyways, it says APPNA, but in the actual app, it says APPNA YPN app. And what the idea is that we at APPNA, this is APPNA's property. We are doing it for APPNA, and all the proceeds which will come from this will go to APPNA YPN. APPNA should send this mass email and some advertisement and, promote this by word of mouth, family to family, all APPNA members, their cousins, their families, that, their young professionals can utilize this app, and that's how this will take off. Once we will be ready in a couple of weeks, so I would like to discuss it personally again with EC and, Dr. Usmani. So anyways, the first is that you just go on the App Store on Apple or, the Google, download the app, you sign up. And once you sign up, you will see this window. You will just go put your email, your password, agree with the terms. You come here. What is this? So the next window is, oh, you got it? Okay, so then you put your basic, the candidates themselves will put their basic information, and which is really extensive. Everything, the first page is that they will put their first name, last name, age, basic information. This is flipped actually, that their preference for the gender, we called it as APPNA networking and finding the soulmate app. So, there are all choices. If you want to if the candidates just want to network, they can choose networking with the other professionals of the same background. They don't have to, it doesn't have to be just male to male or female to female or, male to only female. So they can choose the gender. They can choose their preferences, that whether they are networking, and the other choices that if they want to find the soulmate or if they want to find, do both. So they will put all this information. Let's go to they will put a selfie there. And this is what it will look like, that in the browser, when you go on the browser, you will see lots of candidates who are on there. First thing you will see is this kind of picture where it says Shakir 25 networking and finding a soulmate single. You say, there will be a picture of the candidate. If say you like it, then you can click the like button, and then you know, the person will get this message in the notification that someone liked you. He can go look at his profile. If he likes it, him back, then he can also like that profile, and then that will be a match. Once they match, then they can start sending the messages. It's very private, person to person, you know, safe and sound. So anyways, the things which are very, very specific is this is APPNA's app. This is all what YPN was doing before. It was very, very, you know, private and, you know, specific to APPNA population. So we kept it that in the basic information, not on this one, but the actual app basic information, there's a part where they will show their APPNA reference and the email or the phone number of that reference, just like we do now. Same thing is that they can send actually a link to the friend in this. We have put down the conferences. It's actually, it is the events now. This is an old thing which we have here. So anyways, the events, we want to describe the whole events which come, which are there. You know, this is my likes page, will show like this. You can like 100 people. Then they can like you, and then it will be a match, and then it will be on your matches pages. And then, you know, you can text each other. So in the texting, you can also send picture or selfie. That ability is there also. I forgot to tell you one thing, which is in the beginning. Once you do the basic profile, you submit it. When you press the submit button, it takes you to the payment. This app is really, really a very good app, and we want to keep it that, you know, the first time registration fee should be $100, which should go to, you know, authorized.net, you know, in APPNA YPN account. And so that it will take to the candidate to that window. Once they pay, they submit, it comes to us at the admin panel. This is what you're looking at, is the app side of it. The other side of it is the admin panel, which where, you know, I am one of the admins, and then we can have some other admins. Actually, at this point, we have put all the committee members as the admins, that they will see that someone has submitted, so they will accept that thing after looking at the basic profile, and then that person will be able to use the app. So the person won't be able to use the app until we accept that thing. And in the exception, when we accept, we will also be able to see that they have paid for the registration. Now, that is the registration for the app. App will have all the information for the upcoming events. App has the place right on the first page that for the events, you know, in the browse. And then the events that do have a drop-down window to say you're going, you're not decided, or you are not going. So the back-end admin panel will have all the information, how many people are coming to the event. The people who are coming to the event will have all the information that who are coming to the event and who are not coming to the event. And they will know, number one, what the event. Could you show the event part, which we filled out? If you press the form, can I press it?
No.
Okay. So anyways, you know, you see the conferences, will be called as events, and you see the first fall conference 2020. We can write down a whole big detail on it, that what we want to do in that event, because the people who are coming are professionals. They want to know what they're going for. These days, you know, our practice was that we would bring them in a room and keep them in that room for 8 hours and make them do, you know, go from person to person and do one thing or the other. So people did not know who's coming, who's not coming, whom they will meet, and what they are going to do during that time. We also
can we?
Yes, yes, Dr. Ghazala, the 3-minute time is up.
Okay.
So, because
if
we
you
have
have any questions, you can ask me, or afterwards, you can always email. We can update you. It's very exciting. It has big potential. I have to thank you, Dr. Usmani, for all your support and positive input you gave. And, also gave me the opportunity to be here to make a difference.
Inshallah, it will be a successful venture. Thank you very much, Dr. Ghazala Ahmed. Can I ask, I thank all the committee chairs, and as previously mentioned, I apologize to those committee chairs who did not get to present today. But I think today's general body meeting, we've got through a lot of committee work, and you were able to showcase all the wonderful things APPNA committees are doing. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Naseem has a motion to move.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask him.
Yeah, that's fine. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Seconding it.
I have a motion to move.
Very good. As
you,
this
Samir.
is an informational meeting, we really don't need a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
actually.
that's fine. Okay,
so,
that's fine.
Thank you everyone for joining, and inshallah we will have another Zoom meeting soon. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you very
Good night,
much.
everyone. Assalamu alaikum.